Would you like to add a touch of tropical paradise to your home? This tabletop water fountain can make a nice focal point indoors or out on your patio. Best of all, it's a do-it-yourself project you can easily put together in an afternoon, and it will cost less than $50. Our fountain is made of a whole bunch of different terracotta pieces. We have these saucers here. This one is 4 inches. We've got some that are 6, some that are 8, and this one right here is 18 inches. We also have a variety of pots, and what we're going to do is take a small submersible pump. You can buy one wherever you buy aquarium supplies, and we're going to hide it in under here, and then we're going to run a hose up through here. Now, we already have a hole in this pot that's big enough to take care of that, but the next thing above that is this piece. It doesn't have any hole in there, so we're going to have to drill. That's going to be a pretty easy thing to do. I'm using a bit that's made for ceramic tile work. You can use a masonry bit as well, and don't forget, wear your safety goggles. To prevent the terracotta from cracking, drill a series of small holes until they eventually overlap, making one hole that's big enough to fit the plastic tubing through. All right, let's see if that's going to fit now. Okay, it's going to go through that, and then the next is this pot that's right up above there. Now this small pot already has a hole in it big enough for our tubing. I'm using 3/8-inch plastic tubing that I got at the local home center. Make sure the tubing you select fits the spout on the regulator. Now before we can actually hook up the tube and cut it off, we need to do some little alterations down here. The water has to have a way to come back in under here where the pump is. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a hacksaw and we're going to make some little slots around here. You want to make these slots all the way around the pot so that water can easily make its way back to the water pump. You can use a pair of pliers to crimp off the notch between the saw blade slots. Now the reason for these notches is actually twofold. It allows the water to come back in under here that's been pumped away so that the water can be recirculated. The other thing is it allows us to bring the cord out and for this pot to fit down flat. We have one more cut that we need to make, and that is, this is the one that goes on the top. This is the second one, and so we need to cut out a little place here for the water to come on down and cascade down. Once again, use your hacksaw to cut out a good-sized notch in the saucer. All right, that ought to be a pretty good waterfall hole there. Now we need to hook up the hose to the little pump. First, attach the small regulator that came with the pump. And it controls the flow of water. You just twist right down here to change the volume. Next, we feed this through the first pot that covers everything up down here. Then through the saucer that fits on top of the pot, and then the last pot, which is right up on the top. We're going to have some excess tubing here, so we'll just take the scissors and snip that right off. Next, we need to put just a little waterproof glue around where the tube comes through this one. Make sure you work the glue down into the gap between the tube and the clay pot so you create a watertight joint. And if you have kids or pets who could bump into your fountain, you might want to glue all the pieces of the fountain together. Well, now comes the fun part, and that's putting all the pieces of the puzzle together. First, I'm going to put this in here. Then I'm going to put the pot upside down here. Then this little saucer on top there. That means the water is going to cascade out of here, come down into this saucer, cascade down here, come over the sides. It's going to look great, and eventually it'll be recirculated. You can also add live plants to the thing, and I think this bromeliad is going to look great. I'm going to also put a little angel out here. And now I'm going to pour some water in here, and I believe we can hook up the pump and see what happens. Well, the pump is working and the effect is fantastic. I'm going to take it inside now and do a little decorating and see what it looks like. I think it's going to be great. Not only does our fountain sound great, by golly, it looks good too. And one of the things I like is the fact that I gave it a little decorative touch by putting all these shells in here. Now you can do whatever you want to on there. You could use glass marbles, different colored marbles. You could use smooth river rocks. Anything you want to do is okay. There's nothing that's off limits. You could even add more than one plant.